All right, thank you so much for that introduction. So majority of you are in either tax, audit, accounting and finance related, majority of you, right? Next thing that I want to know is, have you learned economics in some area? You should have, that's why you're on the exemption block 19. So that I want to know where. I will start off in general. If you have learned economics in your A-level, put your hands up. And you stuck to the paper, London, locals, economics, put your hands up, please. Economics you've done for A-level. Yes. Then your exemptions is coming from professional qualification. Yes. In that professional qualification, have you covered any basic economics? Can you put your hands up? All of you. Majority of you. Around few of you have not. Okay. So I'm assuming that the basic economics knowledge is there, but of course we will revise, try to revise. The ones on line, can we try speaking, Galle? Yes, Galle, can you talk a bit? Okay. Galle, can you talk now? Yeah, I'll check the slide.
Dan, can you talk now?
Because I'm trying from a different one. Can you all speak? In first?
Yes, madam.
This. Yeah, in first, can you say, can you give your introduction, please? What's your name?
Hi, madam. I am Infas. I am working as accountant at Rizahaj in Qatar.
All right. Are you based in Qatar now?
Yes, madam.
All right. Can we see your face for a bit? Can I see your face? All right. Great. Thanks. Who else is joining? Thanks, Prakash, right? In fact. Then we have Gayan, Supun. Can you speak a bit? And perhaps show me your face. Yes, yeah. Can you speak that? So then I think the problem is with your mic. You're trying to talk and we cannot hear. I can see your face. Huh? Mic. Okay. Right, Dan. Can you send us a message, please? Can you send a message explaining what you're doing? Yeah, please send us a message. Message to the payment. Okay. Let me PowerPoint the PowerPoint the today thank you. All right, so thanks, and also send in message whether you have covered economics in some kind of previous session, maybe for A levels, maybe for your professional qualification. Okay. Right. Now, usually when I conduct lecture, I encourage you to maintain a notebook. Although we have slides, a notebook or a set of files with like orderly notes. Okay, mainly because our subject requires a certain set of theory, right? Basic theory you need to know, which means you need to write them. You should be able to explain them. And I do a lot of questions and answers whether you have understood, which means I want to say, make sure I'm going to write childhood day, but you have one particular book for it. Okay, so first thing, this is how we're going to start, right? What in your simplest meaning, what is economics? Can you define economics? Don't Google. In simple terms, even if you go wrong, it's perfectly fine. You can correct you. First thing, put the day to day. What is economics? We're going to start by that. That. I'm session 2 here. Okay. Yeah. Can that. Okay. This when I want to minimize, right? I'll just do this. This one. This one. This one. And then again I put it right. Yeah. Okay, great. Right. Thank you so much. Okay, manage. Yeah, fine. I don't need your number.
I will write if I can unbind you.
Okay, yeah, please. Okay, thank you. Right. So in your very simple word, what is economics? Right. Those who are online also, in most simple word, write down what is economics. Thank you. It is perfectly all right. If you are wrong, fine.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Tell me, give me an introduction about yourself.
I am Gayan, and I'm working in Dubai as a financial analyst in Abdullah Larif Investment Group. Uh, yeah, I'm joining from Dubai.
Background. Your economics background is from A levels or your professional qualification?
I have done in my A levels, and that I have covered up in basic in chartered executive level.
Good, thank you. Right. Please write down what is economics in your notebook. Okay. So, in very basic terms, when we consider economics and its definition, first thing, it is a study about human behavior. It is a social science. Don't write down. The definition is there. It's a social science, first thing. Then the other thing is, it studies about the human behavior. All right. And that human behavior in economics is about how human beings make choices when the resources when the human choices are made with relative to scarce resources, right, and unlimited ones. Let's go again to social science, studying the human behavior about how they make choices when there's scarcity in resources compared to unlimited ones. In very simple terms, in our world, the resources that we have for consumption is limited, right? Be it finance resources, be it human resources, be it physical capital, it is limited. The problem is that, right? Now, for very simple example, today in the morning for breakfast, you might want to have rice, some sweet hoppers, some canada, like the chickpeas. You may want to have couple of things. What can we have? Can't. If you look at dinner, you may want to have couple of things, right? You would like to have several vehicles at home, right? A small car to go to work, then a jeep to go on trips, right? A boat to go on the lake. You would like to have, but can you have personally, individually? You can't have. You may want to do this degree program. You may want to do another degree program, right? But can we do? Can't do. Why? We have constraints. We have resource limitation, right? Compared to what are those things that I said? Eating this, that, this, those are our wants, right? Those are our wants. Our wants are unlimited, but our resources are limited. Gas resources, again, unlimited wants, there is a problem. So, we have to make some rational choices. Okay? So, economics is there. Is the AC 2.5 all? Shift to the other side. Yes. Shift. If the AC is 2.4, shift to this. That is not affecting you too much. Okay? Because if you try to like further increase the temperature, some of you might feel hot. Shift your device. Right? So, economics is there to optimize those decisions, to optimize those choices. So although you are accountants and you could either accounting and finance, that audit, that's what we are doing. Right? Why are we thinking about auditing? Why are we thinking about accounting up to single cent and auditing that? Because the resources that the owners are invested upon the company is limited. And to them, it's really important that a single cent matters and their wealth is maximized. So this is the base of economy. Okay? Right. I have not uploaded this slide yet, mainly because I wanted this definition to come from you all naturally. So if your definition is slightly different to what my definition is write it down. Slightly different to not the exact word, slightly different to what it said. Write it down. If your definition is close to this, add on the ones that are the same. Yes, you can change paper depending on your choice, no problem. If you can't see or if it's too cold, feel free to change. Upon this definition, add on one thing. After writing down the definition, add on one thing. Come here. Resources are scarce compared to unlimited wealth. Okay. So this part is the most important part. Okay? And in addition to this, you have to write down resources are scarce, mainly in comparison to unlimited bonds. Okay? Mainly in comparison to unlimited bonds. In economics, there are two main branches. If you take economics, it's like an umbrella, right? If you take economics, big umbrella, right? Inside this big umbrella, we have so many branches, right? We have microeconomics. You don't have to write down anything. We have macroeconomics. Then we have things like managerial economics, labor economics, mathematical methods for economics, environmental economics, urban economics, so on and so forth. In your life, yeah, you will also have like economics of climate change. Someday we may have economics of taxation, right? Economics and accounting combined, we may have. Financial economics are actually what we want. Financial economics, so many branches. Out of those branches, the basic, most important two branches are microeconomics and macroeconomics. What are they? Microeconomics and macroeconomics. Most of the time, right, if you take all other subjects, these ones, they will be, if you take like a pyramid, in the pyramid, there will be like a foundation, microeconomics and macroeconomics. So the basic economic theories that you are going to learn are either going to fall into micro or macro. Okay? For example, have you heard about the law of demand? Have you heard about the law of demand or the theory of demand? That is a concept coming under microeconomics, law of demand. If you don't know the law of demand, you can't do some of these subjects such as managerial economics, labor economics, mathematical methods, financial economics. You can't. So, what you are going to learn in principles of economics as well as business economics subjects will belong to either microeconomics, macroeconomics, basic theory. Okay, we're going to brush up on that basic theory. Of course, in your next course, which is your business economics course, there'll be a little bit of application also, right? Managerial economics level will come. So, you need to know the difference between macro and micro. You understood, right? You understood economics as the definition. Then Macro and micro. Now in your book, can you write down the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics? Please. The difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Don't Google, okay? Just write down upon what you know. Yes. Are you coming? Okay. Do you have you done in economics before? Where? Yes. Well, only. Business level also you have done. Then are you working somewhere? Where are you working? Okay. In what? Accounting. Good. Okay. Are you like? All right, micro versus macro. Done. Everybody? So, microeconomics, right, looks at individual economic actors. Who are these individual economic actors? Firms, right? Households, financial sector component, mainly firms and households and individuals, right? So microeconomic studies the behavior of these individual economic actors. Okay, the study about in the individual economic actors is microeconomics. For example, if you're looking at the demand, if you're looking at the law of demand, and you're looking at the law of demand for a particular good, right? Let's say for a tea bun. What is the demand for a tea bun? Right? What is the demand for particular cars? Right? One particular car. Right? So when you're looking at certain individual economic actors and trying to do some economic analysis, that will usually fall under microeconomics. Whereas in the macroeconomics, we will be looking at the aggregate economy, the overall economy, the economy as a whole. Right? We look at the economy as a whole in macroeconomics. That is where we study things like economic growth. How is the country's economic growth? Inflation rate. How has the general price level changed over time in the country? Okay. What is the unemployment rate overall? What is the overall interest rate? So, if you're looking at those economy as a whole, not just one industry, not just one firm, not just a set of firms, not just a set of individuals, but the entire economy, that will fall under the basic difference. Yeah, this example. So, all right, look at this. Microeconomics and macroeconomics definition. The branch of economics that examines the functioning of individual industries and the behavior of individual decision-making units. This can also be called as individual economic actors, right? That is farms and households mainly. That's about microeconomics. Macroeconomics, a branch of economics that examines the economic behavior of aggregate. It could be income, employment, output, and so on. Can you write down the examples also? Write down the definition charts. If your definition is different, right? And cut off your definition if it's incorrect. Then please write down the examples which I gave under each branch of economics. All right, are we all clear on this? Now, there are key concepts that we need to know. Okay, there are key concepts that we must know when we are studying economics, right? Some of these concepts already we have covered in some of the definitions that we just did, right? Especially in the economics definition. Scarcity, choice, opportunity, cost, very basics. Apart from that, we learn about production possibility curves or frontiers. We learn about positive versus normative analysis or statement. When we learn about different economic systems that exist in the world. Okay. So, folks, can all write briefly scarcity, choice, opportunity cost, basic definition according to your mind. Right? According to your mind, what is scarcity? In simple terms. Right? What is opportunity cost? In simple terms. What's the choice? Just give it a try. Okay? I want your concepts to come only option because you need a definition for data. Okay. Scarcity, choice, opportunity cost. Define those three mainly. All right, now you can share with me, right? What is this scarcity? Good. What do you think is choice? Me. Okay. There could be few options. Okay. Right. Right. What about the choice that you think? Right. What about opportunity cost? You have opportunity cost because the choice one. Okay. Right. Right. What about opportunity cost? That's it. The best of the best alternative choice is the opportunity cost. Okay. What about you? What is opportunity cost? The best alternative. Okay, right. You're not getting there, right? So scarcity means there is limited resources, right? There's a limitation in resources. Always compared to what? Unlimited bonds. Choice means, right? When you have unlimited bonds, you have a set of alternative wants to be satisfied. You have a set of alternatives out of which you can select, right? One, right? Choice is you have a set of alternatives for breakfast. Very simple. Breakfast, you could have either had rice, you could have had string hoppers, you could have had chickpeas. Out of the three, can you eat all three? No, right? You chose one and you ate that. Okay? So a choice is where you have a set of alternative selections, right? Out of which you made one selection, that's choice. Next one is opportunity cost. When the resources are scarce, when compared to unlimited one, when you have a set of selections or options, when you made a choice, right? When you selected to eat a rice packer instead of a string hopper packer, the best alternative you forego is string hoppers. You ate rice, you made an opportunity cost. What you lost, what you sacrificed is your opportunity cost. The string hopper packer is your opportunity cost. Okay? So when the resources are scarce, compared to unlimited bonds, when you have a choice, when you made a selection, right? When you made a choice, then you have created an opportunity cost. You have taken an opportunity. Okay, simple as that. So let's go through one by one. Those who are online, if you have any questions, then and there you can unmute and ask me. Okay. So scarcity explains the basic economic problem that the world has limited or scarce resources. So means if anything in scarcity, it has to be spoken with reference to or in comparison to unlimited bonds. If that's there, your definition is correct. Apart from that, right, you can add on this the reality. What is the reality? The reality is that resources are limited. It makes us or it forces us. It's because you did not have maybe like 5,000 rupees for breakfast. Maybe your allocation for breakfast was just 600 rupees, right? It's because of that that you could not choose string hoppers, rice, and chickpeas, right? You had a small constraint and you chose. So the reality of scarce resources or scarcity forces people to make decisions about how you're going to allocate resources in the most efficient way. So this is why economics is important, because we are going to learn ways and means how we can optimize our decisions. how we can take the optimal decision. For 600 rupees, maybe the rice packet was 550. Maybe the string hoppers was 500. Maybe the chickpeas was 400. Okay, I have 600 already. Rice is big. It's gonna fill my tummy. Most efficient option is rice packet. You understood? Set of reasons that we brought before we made the decision. Right? So the scarcity forces people to make decisions in how they allocate resources in the most efficient way so that their highest priorities are met. My priority for breakfast, I know you all might not have had breakfast also, right? My first priority is, does it fill my tummy? It has to be filling. First thing, no, you eat something you want it to be filling. Is it tasty? Is it safe to eat? Right? Is it safe to eat? Then is it affordable? Can I afford it? So, depending on my priority list, what is the most efficient decision? Okay? So, that's about scarcity. So, because of this whole limitation in resources of scarcity, individuals need to make a choice. Why? As to which one do we satisfy? There is scarcity from one hand, there is unlimited wants from the other hand. So, we have to make a selection. We have to have a choice. In every society, there are a few key points that I need to highlight one more. Okay. Whether our society is simple or complex, whether we are rich or poor, right? Everybody faces scarcity. Everybody has to make a choice. Now, let's say you take one of the millionaires in the country or billionaire in the country. Do you think that he does not face scarcity? He faces. You may think compared to us, right? Compared to middle income earners, compared to low income earners, one may think a millionaire, billionaire, right? A business tycoon may have all the money in the world. He can have all sorts of things for breakfast. But their wants are much bigger than us. His problems may not be what he's going to have for breakfast. His problem may be is taking his children to Hawaii for holiday. Are we going to Maldives in the weekend? Or are we going to New York? Is my business trip going to be based in London, New York, or Singapore, Dubai? Their choices, their wants are different. Am I going to shop for clothes in London, Paris? That's their wants, right? That's their wants. So, however simple or complex, they will be facing a choice, right? In society, everybody faces a choice. Whether you are a small company who is a startup or whether you are a public limited company with a billion share, you will still face scarcity. So one very important thing is, in every society, simple or complex, whether they are living in a developed nation or developing nation, will still face it. Okay? They constraint in what they're going to do, right? So, economics or economists assume that these individuals will be making choices in order to maximize the value of some objective. Right? It may be now having breakfast, filling my tummy, right? Making sure that hunger is not there anymore. So they want to maximize a certain objective that will be in relation to their own self-interest. My self-interest is to keep me happy, my body happy. So I had breakfast. I made the choice that was maximizing my self-interest. Individual choice concerns the selection by an individual of, this is really important, a word that did not come for choice. We have alternative set of things out of which we make a selection, which is called choice, right? We have an alternative set of things out of which we make a choice, thank you, and out of which we make a selection, and that we call choice. Okay. Now, I have to make a correction here. This is microeconomics, not macro. In microeconomics theory, we study about consumer behavior. Okay, we study about consumer behavior. That means how a consumer will make a selection of a particular good or service. All right. So, in that, we will see what the consumer prefers. Do I prefer to eat the tea bun or do I prefer to eat the seed sample bun? What's my preference over these two products? I would prefer a tea bun over a seed sample bun. So that consumer preference, study that selection, we will use in economics theories called theory of consumer behavior. Now, in your book for choice, can you add on this? Most important, selection. Simple or complex, you all will have choice. Alternatives from a set. Can you add on these characteristics of choice? Choice. Let me wrote the choice definition. All right? Right? How many of you have had breakfast and you wanted earlier break? Had breakfast? Do you want a break? Put your hands up quickly. Do you want a break now? No one. Usually, how many breaks do you get? 24 hours? One break. One break. Around what time? 10. Around 10. All right. We are okay. Settled for that? Right. Okay. So, scarcity choice is that. Let me take you all to opportunity cost. To this because our university one is slightly different. Opportunity cost. The best alternative that we forego or give up when we make a choice or decision. You have a set of alternatives, set of options, right, for breakfast. You select a rice, then you have chickpeas and you have string hoppers. Out of those two that are sacrificed, the best one in your mind. My second preference was string hoppers, so the next best alternative was string hoppers. So the best alternative that we forego or give up when we make a choice or a decision is opportunity cost. Please write it down. Sorry. Read through the two paragraphs that are there. The two paragraphs. Okay, so in an economy, the things that happen, the economic transactions that happen, are a combination of multiple individuals making decisions, right? Today, our aggregate economy includes multiple individual decisions. All of you, are you demanding rice? All of you, are you demanding noodles? What is the demand for vegetables? What is your demand for certain milk powder? So, individually, what you all take, put together, we have so many decisions in the economy. Now, people have to mainly decide. One main choice for the people comes from what? The majority of the choices that we make are constrained by what? Our income, our earning. Right? When it comes to individuals, the majority of our choices, our constraints are coming from this thing called income or earnings. Because it is our income that we allocate to satisfy our wants. Of course, there are other things like time. For example, do you have time for leisure? You don't need money now. At home, you can rest and watch a movie. There's no cost, right? There are things like that. But majority of our choices are based upon our income. For what goods and services are we going to allocate this income? Right? Then, so now we're talking about microeconomics. We have households, that is us, individual, and we also have firms, businesses or firms. Firms must decide what? Which product are we going to produce? That means what to produce. How are we going to produce? Are we going to produce it using labor? Are we going to produce it using complete machinery? Are we going to do a combination? Who are we going to produce? Who's our target market? So for business, those questions will come. Right? In an economy where businesses and individuals make multiple choices, then all economic choices will form an economy. Then you learn this term called trade-offs. Very important. Trade-offs. Trading off. Like you trade off the pros and cons and you make a selection. Right? For example, I chose rice. I traded off the possibility of eating string hopper. You do a trade-off, right? If I use my income, right, majority of it for consumption of food and the rest around 20% for leisure, I have traded off on leisure for basic consumption in the house. So, because of these decisions, we have trade-offs. Okay? And the trade-off creates an opportunity cost. Now, the small difference between you accountants and the economists is that y'all do the accounting mainly based on what you can see, right? What has transferred in books of accounting, what has actually happened, whether cash has gone, right, or not, whether there is a earning that should come to us based on what has actually happened. Do you consider the alternative foregone? Right? When you bought a new factory, right, you cost for the exact cost of that factory. How much we paid for that factory? Did you include the cost of the factory B, which you could have bought instead of factory A? Did you include that? No. When your entrepreneur or your boss, when his salary is taken into your books of accounting, did you consider what he could have done instead of being your boss? During that time, he could have run some other business. Did you consider that? No. So in economics, we say when you're making a decision, always consider about the cost that you have sacrificed. Right? So that's the slight difference that we economists and accountants have. Okay? But of course, you may ask the practicality. Right? We say consider this. Right? It's not very practical, but at least think about it. What are you going? What would have been the benefits? Why is this alternative best compared to that? So, the full cost of making a specific choice includes what we give up by not making the alternative choices. Okay? What are we giving up by not having string hoppers also? So, this can you all please add on to opportunity cost slide, the section. To your opportunity cost section, please add on these extra points in your own words. Those who are online, be ready. Just get ready in the next few minutes. I'm going to do a recap with you all. So be ready to switch on the mic and also the video and join our recap. And if you have any questions, you can ask at that time. majority of you are done. This slide. So, along with opportunity cost and choice, we mentioned that the firms have to make these choices, these decisions, what to produce, how to produce, whom to produce, right? Now we're going to look at that. Okay, so when it's about what should be produced, right? It's about our scarce resources for what are we going to use, right? For example, if we are going to spend on education more, this is national level. If we are going to spend on education more at national level, what are the sectors we are going to sacrifice? Are we going to sacrifice healthcare? Are we going to sacrifice defense? Are we going to sacrifice on public utilities, infrastructure development? So, if you are making a choice for one area, you have to make the sacrifice on another area. Similarly, within a firm, let's say your firm has diversified into personal care, fast food, and also retail services, right? For example, let's take Cargill, the company Cargill, they're into retail, right? Their food city is part of their retail sector. The KFC is part of their fast food sector. Then they also are into agro products. You will see, Cargill will have their own fresh produce coming from their suppliers, and also they will have certain food items like milk coming from ice cream, yogurt coming from their branches, right? So if they decide to expand their KFC, right, and use some of their resources to expand more KFCs rather than the Cargill's retail outlets, food city outlets, then they're sacrificing on food city outlets and investing more on the KFC. Same time, when they expanded the Cargill bank, right, when they got into consumer banking, right, they would have spent that money on banking sector while sacrificing on their other sectors. So that's one example. How should they be produced, right? So we decided, okay, we're going to expand on KFC, the fast food. Are we going to use skilled labor? Are we going to use semi-skilled labor? Or are we going to completely use certain machinery? Or is it going to be a combination? How are we going to do the processing? Are we going to do it within the country? Are we going to do it outside of the country, right? Should we use new raw material, or should we use things like recycled raw material? So these are some of the choices that we make. Then for whom should these goods and services be produced? Right? Are we going to produce it to the local market? Okay, our customers in Sri Lanka, or are we producing it as exports to the US or UK? Right? Or are we going to give it to the middle income earners, low income earners? Do we have any target like that? So for whom to produce is decided in that way. So these are some of the choices that we have to make in terms of our business. Okay, what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. And mind you, the discussion point that we discussed under this, there may be so much more when you are in the corporate sector. These may not be the only consideration point that you consider. There may be so many when you are deciding what to produce. There may be so many. Which personal care item for ladies? If so, what's the flavor? What's the quantity? What's the size of the bottle or no bottle, right? Recycled items or not, environmental friendly or not. There are so many decisions to be made. This is only a guidance. Okay, there may be so many sub decisions to be made. This is only a guidance. Now, we go into production possibility frontier. Just before that, I'd like to take our let's look at our friends here. Can you hear us? Galle, are you there? Farhan, are you there? Infas, are you there? Can we see you all on the screen? Galle, Farhan, Infas. And we have Ratnayaka also. Have I missed Ratnayaka? I think I mixed up Nike. Nike, are you there with us? Nike, are you there with us? Okay, right. Do you have any questions up to this section that we have done so far? Any questions? Okay. Then in part, can you share with us in your own small, simple word, what is scarcity? Scarcity. It's okay if you go wrong. Huh? I'm here. Unmute and talk. Yeah. Can you unmute, please? You're muted. In first. No, you're on mute. That's the problem. Can you see you have to unmute? Mic. Right, good. Scarcity.
Madam, scarcity means limited resources. We have to meet unlimited wants of people.
Good. Farhan, can you tell us what is choice? Choice. You're muted, Farhan.
Choice mean we have unlimited wants we have. So whereas we have to choice all the whatever wants we have, out of which what is the best for us. We have to choice it.
Give us a minute. A friend here would like to add on something from choice. There's something that we highlighted. Can you say what that is? Something we highlighted for choice. Yeah. Anything else? Anyone in the class can give me? I highlighted. I marked it with a star. Yeah. Okay, right. Whether simple or complex society, we will have that problem. Apart from that, yeah, okay. Apart from that, set of alternatives, right? Out of a set of alternatives, we make one choice. Very important. Okay. Out of the set of alternatives, we make a selection in the choice. Good. Garan, can you tell the difference between microeconomics, macroeconomics?
In the macroeconomics, in the macroeconomics, we are focusing about the behaviors of the individual sectors. And when it's come to the macro, then we will consider about this the behavior of the whole society, society's actions.
So micro, first one I heard as macro. Microeconomics is individual behavior and macroeconomics is overall economic. Good. Do you have any questions up to the point that we have done from the class as well as there? Any question?
No, madam.
In first, no?
No, madam.
Okay, right, thank you. We will take a short break and be back within 15 minutes maybe. Right, take a short break and be back within 15 minutes. Thanks. Yeah.
මම ඒක ඉතර කරන්න උත්සාහ විතර වෙයි. මට ඉන්නට අර ස්පොට් කරන්න. අසිත කෑමේ ඊයේ හදපු ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා කියන්නේ. මේ උදේ අසිත එපා රැකේ. හරි. හරි කරේව තුන කරන්න thank you. Yeah, this one. The thing is, it's better if you shift. You can increase it to 26, 27. That's fine. But if it's too hot farther, we will shift the place. Take it. Few more minutes. Yeah. Online ones are still joining. So, it's not there, right at the bottom. Just check the list once more. Right at the bottom. Was it there in the last attendance sheet? It's okay. Yeah, okay, then include it. You write at the bottom.
Right, let's start. Frontier. It's a model, right? It's a basic model. It's a curve that has two axes. Okay? It's a curve that has two, it's a graph that has two axes and we draw a curve in that. In that we consider in the economy, because it's a model, there are only two products. Okay? In the production possibility frontier or production possibility curve, we make an assumption that there are only two products. Product A, product B. And then there is the curve. This is a particular theoretical model that we use to highlight certain concepts such as scarcity, right? Choice, trade-offs, efficiency, right? Sometimes even the cost and growth of an economy. Now, for production possibility frontier, there are two types of efficiency that we need to consider in production. In economy, there are two basic types of efficiency we need to speak about. First type of efficiency is allocative efficiency. First type is allocative efficiency. It simply means whether we are producing what the customer needs, what the society needs. So allocative efficiency means, are we allocating our resources to produce the goods and services that are required by the society? That's why it says resources must be allocated to the production of goods and services that people want the most. That means we are getting the best mix out of the resources that we have. That is called allocative efficiency. Next one is called productive efficiency. Are we producing whatever the goods and services that we decided to produce at the lowest possible cost? Considering the cost, and if we are making a choice for the lowest possible cost, we call it productive efficiency. Okay? Shall we write down the PPF definition? And the difference between allocative and productive efficiency. If you want, you can come in front of that. Right? Better not? Difficult to see? The few of you can come in front, that will be easier. Slides will be anyway updated, uploaded, but I want you to have a note also. Because then you remember more and we can write down extra points. Done. Okay. Allocative efficiency and productive efficiency are the two differences that you need to know. Now, in a PPF diagram, I told you there are two products. Of course, in the economy, there are more products, but for economic, for model purposes, theoretical purposes, we are considering only two products to understand the theory. In this, we have taken industrial robot and pizza. We have taken a consumer-based good, right? And we have taken a capital good. Okay? The two goods can be broadly categorized as a consumer good for pizzas and for industrial robots, the capital good. Okay? Consumer goods are used for consumption then and there, whereas capital-based goods are used for production of goods and services and not for consumption. And capital goods will have a positive impact on our growth process rather than the consumption. These are, these are the points of a production possibility frontier. So we have different combinations of producing the two products. In combination A, how many industrial robots are we producing? 10. How many pizzas? 0. So in an economy, we can use all our resources and produce only industrial robots. Or the other end, we can use our all resources and produce 400,000 units of pizzas and 0 industrial robots. These two are our corner points, extreme point. Producing only capital goods, producing only consumer goods. In between, we can do half or in proportion. In point B, we are producing 100,000 pizzas and 9,000 robots. Here at point C, 200,000 pizzas and 7,000 robots. At point B, 300,000 pizzas and 4,000 robots. Combine those combinations, we have a production possibility frontier. Now, any point inside the production possibility frontier, right, is productively inefficient. Productively inefficient. What does that mean? Right? We are not using the maximum out of the resources that we are having. Out of the resources that we are having, if we are at a point on the PPF, we are taking the maximum out of our resources. If we are producing anything inside this, we are not productively efficient. The cost is gone waste. Right? Okay. Any point on the frontier is productively efficient. Any point on the curve, we consider it as productively efficient. However, it may not be allocated efficient. From this production possibility curve, we cannot ensure that it is allocated efficient. We can't represent that. Why? We don't know what the society wants. Society may need something else. Yes, that is not shown in the PPA. All right. So the basic difference is anything on the graph, on the curve is productively efficient. Anything inside is not productively efficient. That's the difference. That clear? Can we draw the PPA? All right. So what are the assumptions? Right. First thing, we assume that all the available resources in the economy are used to produce these two, right? For the module purposes, right? Otherwise, this PPF does not make sense. All resources mean land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, and others. Next one, we say that we are trying to achieve productive efficiency. We forget about allocative efficiency. We can't represent allocative efficiency from this. Next, at a given point of time, right? In that sense, at the point of time that we are drawing this PPF, we assume that the resources that we have in terms of quantity are fixed, but can be shifted around later on. That can be shown in a different way actually. And we assume that the technology does not change during this time. But if the technology from the available resources, we may be able to get a higher production. That happens rather than using labor. If we do 24/7 robotic production, right, because of the technology, we will be getting more production. But we're forgetting that also. We're saying that technology is constant. Otherwise, this model, you can't look at it. Most important part, only two products in the economy. It's the economic model, not very practical, but to understand these concepts. First thing, any PPF is bowed out. Bowed out means like this. You have good A, B, bowed out means from the origin, bowed out like this. Why? There is a reason for this. Okay? The reason is opportunity cost. What is the reason for opportunity cost? If I'm here in X point, if I'm here in Y point, at X point, if I'm producing 10B, 5A, right, and 6X and 10A, when I'm moving from X to Y, I'm sacrificing what? I'm sacrificing production of B and increasing the production of A, right? So, how much of one good is sacrificed to produce one of the other good is the opportunity cost. What we are foregoing from B to produce A is the opportunity cost, right? It's because this opportunity cost that our curve is sloping like this. Okay, it's not a curve like this, and also it's not a curve like this. Okay, these two are wrong. Production possibility curve will always be bowed out. Okay, and touching these 2 points. Producing only good B point, producing only good A point, connecting. You understand the reason is the opportunity cost. Right. Yeah. Look at this. What are the two goods that we have? Quantity of butter, quantity of dyes, two new goods. Okay. Right. Look at point E. What's the problem there? Not productively efficient. Look at point B. Productively efficient. Look at point D. Impossible. Anything beyond the production possibility curve is not reachable. Right? Why? We don't have sufficient resources to go to point D. That means point D shows us scarcity. Point D shows us scarcity. We can't reach D because we don't have enough resources. Okay? Now, what is this? If we are expanding our factors of production, right? If we are expanding our factors of production, our production possibility criteria can have an outward shift. That outward shift is also called economic growth, right? That outward shift is also called economic growth. Okay? This kind of outward shift. So can we write down, draw this, draw EBD and name EBD with what I told. E, not productively efficient. B, productively efficient. D, cannot achieve. Not attainable. Shows scarcity. Shows scarcity. No need to draw with the exact combination numbers. This is only to show the concept.
Done. Then plot this one and show that it's an economic growth taking place and factors of production expanding. So for this, write down. We can obtain previously unattainable. We can obtain previously unattainable production choices. Production choices such as D and E. Such as D and E. When the PPF shifts outward. Everybody is done with drawing? Yeah? Yes. In this case, B is unattainable. Why? There is no PPA. This is outside the PPA. But in this, B is attainable. Why? Our production possibility frontier moved down. And now we are on the frontier body. Compared to CBA, we are producing more of both the goods in the shifted PPA. Usually, when a PPA shifts, right? When a PPA shifts, we call this P. Okay. PPF 1 to PPF 2. Okay. We name the PPFs. Production possibility frontier 1 and production possibility frontier 2.
And we normally show with an arrow. TPF1, TPF2. If the economy is to further grow, we can even have a PPF 3. PPF 3. If the economy is to further grow, we can have a PPF. Now, the most important. These are parallel shifts. For example, if this is my PPF1, PPF2 is like a parallel shift. That means the both is like the same amount. But look at this. This is PPF1. PPF. Shift from this side is small. Shift from this side is big. That can also happen. That can also happen, right? It doesn't have to be a parallel shift like this. This can happen. Okay? Write down these, draw these two also. Parallel shift. You have learned all these things already in economics. We're just recapping, huh? Now, we go back to that. Another option. another option. Okay, these PPF have good A, good B. Another way that the PPF shifts is, it doesn't change from one point, but it changes from the other. This way also the shift is possible. Can we draw it? Very bad drawing at the bottom, I'm sorry about that, right? Make sure your lines are straight. Good. Now, for this same PPF, for this one, what are the reasons for the PPF to shift outwards? We said resources are increasing. Right now, how can this resource endowment increase? Currently, our country has this much of resources. How can this increase? Think. What are the options for us to increase our resources? Forget about technological advancement, please. No technological advancement. How can we increase the resource base? Think. What are the exact reasons for the shift, the outward shift? The main graph, forget about these two, I will discuss later. Main graph. So, production of both the products, there's more availability of resources. Okay. Can somebody give me an answer? Very good. International trade. Bringing in resources from foreign countries. Can we write down? Bringing in resources from foreign countries. Very good. For that, let's look at land, labor, capital. Right? Can we bring land from other countries? Land can't, right? But we can expand our land, like the pole. Okay? So for that foreign country, bringing in resources from foreign countries, let's write down underneath that. Bringing in foreign labor. Bringing in foreign labor. Or opening our labor market for foreign employees. opening our labor market for foreign employees. Land. Expanding the land extent or expanding the current land extent. For example, building, converting sea area to land. Bringing in new capital. Bringing in new capital. Okay, from foreign country. Or we can even build new capital. Right? Earlier we did not have this machinery, now we're building it inside the country. Right? Bringing in or building new capital. Those are the ways and means in which our production possibility frontier can be moved out or shifted outward. Then, for that pink area, right? For the pink grass, how does that happen? What is this? From one side, from B side, from in relation to production of B, our curve has shifted, but not here. For example, if we look at producing 10 units of A, earlier we were here, now we are here. Earlier, with the resources, 10 units of A and 5 units of B. Now, with the resource expansion, 10 units of A and 12 units of B. You see? What does that mean? Resources that can be used mainly for B has now expanded. Okay? Resources that can be used for the production of B has expanded. On the other hand, when this happens, let's say 6 units of B with 5 units of A and 10 units of A. Now, the resources that can be used to produce A has increased compared to the resources types that can be used to produce B. Do you see the difference? This is the increase in the resources are product bias. Right? The increase in the resources, when they are product bias, this kind of shift happens. We call it asymmetric shift. This one we can call it parallel as well as symmetric. You know what symmetric and asymmetric, right? If you take a piece of paper, if you fold it, if they are coming symmetrical circle, you cut it into two, fold it, it's symmetrical. Cut this kind of paper into two, symmetrical or not, asymmetrical. So this kind of shift, this one you can call it symmetrical shift. From both sides, symmetrical shift or parallel shift. These are asymmetric shifts, and mainly the resources used for one particular type of commodity is no. Can you write down that? Not in the slide. Extra. That's why I say no, thank you. Right? Under those pink graphs, write down. The PPS can shift outward asymmetrically if there is an increase in resources for only one particular good, Okay, understood? Then I'll revise the PPA notes now. I'm going to go into questions. The ones on 9 especially, you have doubts, questions, time to ask because I don't see your faces. I don't know if you have understood or not. Revise PPF notes. All right. Everybody clear? Right, those who are online, can I see you? Are you all ready? Farhan, Infas, and Galle. We have Kumar Dura also. Did you just join us now? Can you hear me? Farhan, do you have any question? Are you all there? Gayan?
Yes, sir.
Infas, and Farhan. Yes. What issues do you have? Are you having any issues?
No, madam. Okay.
Okay. Then, Gayan, can you tell me a point on the production possibility curve? Is it productively efficient or allocatively efficient? Productively efficient or allocatively efficient? Yeah.
That any point on the frontier is productively efficient.
Thank you. Yeah. Can you tell me whether it is allocatively efficient also a point on top of it? Allocatively efficient. Productively efficient, yes, on the PPP. On the PPA. Can you say allocatively? Any other answer to that? Can you say allocatively efficient? No. Why?
May or may not be, ma'am. May or may not be.
Exactly. Yes, Farhan, may or not be. Can you
Yes.
tell me why?
Because the allocatively efficient mean it's like a how like a in the product fund trial like a we have a several option. So the company the resources can be used in either way. So either option we can choose it.
Yeah. So we cannot say because we don't know the society's requirement.
Correct.
Okay. Right. Thanks, Farhan. Can you tell me a point that is outside the PPA, right? Not inside, outside. What does it represent? Not attainable. Very good. Another thing that can represent that. A point that is outside the PPA, not on a PPA. Another one. Another one. You can refer to your notes. You can refer to your notes. A point that is outside, not on a PPA. Any other thing that it represents? Yes, it's not okay. Yes, anything else? Scarcity. Scarcity. Our resources are not sufficient to achieve that point. Good. What does a shift mean? How can the shift take place? One example. A shift outward, a PPA. Very good. Bringing resources from foreign countries. Anything else? Expanding the existing land. Good. Anything else? Bringing in new capital or building new capital. Right. Okay, good. Infas, are you there?
Yes, madam.
Infas, can you tell us why would there be an asymmetrical shift in the PPA? Asymmetrical shift.
Because of increase on resources in one product.
One product type. Very good. Okay. Good. Right. Recap is over. Let's go back. Now this one. Another critical one. Okay. Now, imagine that we are on this axis, we are producing a type of wood that will be used for current consumption. quantity of current production, means producing for now. And also, we are investing on something for resource maintenance for the future. Okay? This side, current production, producing something for current production, producing something for resource maintenance. This resource maintenance will have an impact on our future production. We will maintain our resources now, right? What will happen? It will support future production. So this side will support future production. Whatever we produce on this side is for current consumption. Think like that. Okay. We are on a PPA. If we produce here more for current production, current consumption and less for future production, what will happen to our growth? Potential growth. If we consume more and more today and don't do resource maintenance for future, we will have less growth in the future. If we do this red one, there will be a growth, but we will have a PPF like this. Parallel, a symmetric shape. They say it's although my drawing back. But if we did like this, look at this. We do more production of goods that will support our future production, and we do less production of goods for current consumption. Then this will give us a much higher potential PPF for the future. You understood? Now, for example, here today, if we are considering some kind of some consumer good, like that pizzas and robots, robots. Today, if we produce more robots, the robots can be used for future production. Pizza you eat, that's it. Finish. No future production. Do you see the difference? Right? Can you draw this? Of course, quite nicely, much better than how I have drawn it. Can you see two colors? Just draw it and do the explanation. Any problems with that? All okay? Now look at this. Those two future PPS that we drew. The green one is this. The red one is this. Today, if we had low resource maintenance now, this will be the future PPA, right? If we have high resource maintenance now, future PPS will be this. Okay, so nicely drawn. Now, economic growth. We discussed about economic growth. We're going to go into detail. Pizza and industrial robots, once again. Old PPS. New PPS. Shift, upward shift. Growth occurs when the production possibility curve shifts to the right that we drew earlier. In terms of years, let's look at. Let's say the PPF in year 1998. Growth depends on the choices that we make today. A sacrifice of current consumption results in more capital goods today and growth in the future. Okay? Same thing that we wrote down earlier. Now look at this. Right? In 1998, if we were in this point, okay, where we consume less of pizza, more of robots, what happens to our growth? Right? We will have a bigger growth. Whereas, if we had more consumption of pizza compared to less consumption of robots, we will have a growth only with light blue. Here, dark blue because we have more industrial robots. So robots and pizzas example explained. Is that clear? The same point. So in 1998, depending on how we spent, how we allocated our resources, the 2009 growth will be decided. This means today we are in 2023, where we consume in the PPA in 2023 will decide 2033 growth. Okay, so for economic growth, we need to realize we need to give more priority today to capital items compared to consumer items. That doesn't mean don't consume. Make the capital items more compared to the more consumer goods. Okay? This opportunity cost we discussed. This is one case study that I want you to, small scenario that I want to read and come for next week for a group activity. Okay? Read this. I'll upload the slide. Read this and come. Well, I'm not going to make you read it now. Now we are going into the evolution of economic thought. Economic thought. We are going to look at how the economic thought varied from time to time. You know the father of economics? Adam Smith. From Adam Smith's time, even before Adam Smith's time, people like Aristotle, they also spoke of those Greek people, and they also spoke of certain economics basics. Okay? So if you really look at pre-1750, there were people in Greece and also from Christian and Muslim religious context, they were talking about economics. Right? Even religion speak, no? What to spend, how to earn, what are good ways to earn, right? How a country can prosper. Likewise, they spoke. Then there was something called physiocracy. Then there was mercantilism. After that, from 1750 to 1870 came the classical economics theories. Okay? Where the invisible hand theory came about the basic price theory, land rent and population theory. Then came to neoclassical from 1870 to 1930. Okay, marginalist revolution, marginal productivity from Marshallian welfare economics. Then we came to criticism and extension capital theory, socialist calculation debate. Then mid-20th, and today we have so many concepts. You have to buy hard these things. Okay? So we put to show you that economics is a subject that has evolved from a very long time. From the Greeks, from where our religion began. Think, from where our religion began, there are economic concepts like this. Okay? Don't buy heart any of these things. That will not be required. But it's important, at least if we know some of the basic principles of some of the schools of thought. So I start with classical. I don't go into Greek because this is not an economics thought class or economic history of economics class. This is not a history of economics class. But just know, classical economics. Classical economics is something where the invisible hand came into being. That means the market forces decide the price and quantity of goods and services. And also government intervention should not be there. Market forces are the king. Demand and supply are the king in the market. That kind of principle thinking was there in classical school of thought. Adam Smith is from that. Price mechanism came from that. Right? The economic development, we need free markets. That kind of thought came into that. What is a free market? Pricing regulations, free market. What you demand, you supply, then we come into one cost section, we have an equilibrium price. Free market. No government intervention. That was the principle based on classical school of thought. Then we had something called neoclassical economic thought. There are ideas and assumptions came. Okay? So here they said that people have rational behavior. They try to maximize utility. That means people take choices depending on maximizing their self-interest. If it's people maximizing satisfaction, if it's firm maximizing profit, okay, that kind of thinking evolved in neoclassical. Okay, one main principle for neoclassical. Then we have new classical also, right? New classical, they have the macroeconomic problems. Okay, how macroeconomic problems can be analyzed using micro behavioral rational analysis. Few things, all you can read through up. Then Keynesian economics is also a very famous one. In Keynesian economics, he gave some kind of importance to government intervention also. Okay. That is why it says Keynesian economists are skeptical that free market. They're skeptical about free market. They were not sure about free market. They thought that there has to be some kind of government intervention. So that's about Keynesian thoughts. You don't have to remember these things again. This is one example with timeline how these different thought processes evolve. Just read through once. Don't remember, please. I will not ask this thing in the exam. This is for your knowledge purposes. Search a little bit on economic thought. We can watch a video also on that. Okay. But just before we head on, I want you all to watch this.
pitching his product. When he's Only suggestions can offer a more personable approach to win over a big client. Make a big impact on your team.
Impact and Diane, can you all hear the sound? Can you all see YouTube screen and can you all hear the sound?
Yes, yes, madam, yes.
Yes.
In a way that is fair and effective. This is what is called scarcity, and different societies in the world facing the same fundamental problem. How to distribute limited resources to people in a way that will be fair and effective. This is what is called scarcity, and different societies approach this problem in different ways. There are four essential types of economic system. The traditional economy is based on culture and ritual, and is focused on the community as a whole. Everyone pitches in and benefits from everyone else's efforts. Small societies focused on subsistence farming and hunting are considered traditional economy. An example would be a traditional Inuit village in North America. A command economy relies on the government to make all economic decisions, including allocating and distributing resources and regulating prices and wages. A modern example of a command economy would be North Korea. A market economy is driven by consumers whose decisions determine how the industries and financial markets will operate. Individuals choose how their resources are used, what goods to make, what services to provide, and what jobs to take. In a pure market economy, there is no government involvement. Because of this, there are no true pure market economies. Most societies today have mixed economies, which utilize limited government involvement while also applying free market concepts. One example would be the United States. However, nearly all other countries are some form of mixed economy as well. Each is unique and faces the challenge of finding proper balance between consumer choices and government control.
I'm gonna play it once more, right? Write down notes if you want. Right? Take down notes if you want, especially on the economic system.
Every society in the world faces the same fundamental problem. How to distribute limited resources to people in a way that will be fair and effective. This is what is called scarcity, and different societies approach this problem in different ways. There are four essential types of economic systems. The traditional economy is based on culture and ritual, and is focused on the community as a whole. Everyone pitches in and benefits from everyone else's effort. Small societies focused on subsistence farming and hunting are considered traditional economy. An example would be a traditional Inuit village in North America. A permitted economy relies on the government to make all economic decisions, including allocating and distributing resources and regulating prices and wages. A modern example of a command economy would be North Korea. A market economy is driven by consumers whose decisions determine how the industries and financial markets will operate. Individuals choose how their resources are used, what goods to make, what services to provide, and what jobs to take. In a pure market economy, there is no government involvement. Because of this, there are no true pure market economies. Most societies today have mixed economies, which utilize limited government involvement while also applying free market concepts. One example would be the United States. However, nearly all other countries are some form of mixed economy as well. Each is unique and faces the challenge of finding proper balance between consumer choices and government control.
That's the canvas review. You take down if you want.
Are you all done? So, what is a free market economy? What do you mean by a free market economy? What is meant by a free market economy? Where you let the market forces decide what to produce completely, right? It's also called the laissez-faire market economy. Laissez-faire. Why government takes a back stand, doesn't intervene. On the other, so this is, we don't have complete free market economy. We don't have. We have actually minimal government intervention today. On the other hand, command economies, we can also call them centrally planned economies, are completely run by governments. What to produce, whom to produce, how to produce is decided by the central planning authority of the government. Okay? USSR, Soviet Union, was one of those, not anymore. China, at some point of time, was one of those, not anymore. North Korea, even up until 2014, was one of those command economies. To a certain extent, they have characteristics now. In today's world, we have mixed economies or mixed economic systems. They are the most practical ones. We let the market economy principles run through via the demand and supply forces, but to a certain extent, we have limited interventions coming from the government, especially for welfare purposes. Okay, so those are the economic systems. Apart from that, we also need to learn positive versus normative analysis. Positive analysis means if we can prove from facts and figures. For example, the economic growth of Sri Lanka for today, for this particular quarter, can be measured in a numerical value. Right? GDP, we took the GDP increment, we can measure it. That analysis is positive analysis. Facts and figures can prove this statement and analysis. On the other hand, if I say, I think Sri Lanka's economy is growing faster than other South Asian economies. I think politicians believe that Sri Lanka will grow in the future. They believe. If the analysis is based on somebody's judgment, opinion, or viewpoint, we say normative analysis. You understand? Today, one person can say the class is good. Another person can say class is bad. But actually, you can understand class is good or bad by writing a small exam and from the marks. I take your marks and say, class is good if the marks are good. Lecture has been done properly if the marks are good. Not from the opinion a student or somebody said, class is good. Okay? Opinion we say normative analysis. Positive. That's the difference. So, statements based on positive analysis are called positive statements, while statements based on normative analysis are called normative. Those are also important for economic analysis. Right. Okay. Any questions? Any questions from the online students?
Any questions from the class? I did not discuss your course outline today because there is a small confusion about continuous assessment, especially if we have online students. Okay, so I want to discuss and clarify that with your coordinator, and then decide that when I do that, I'll go through the course outline with you next week. Okay, when the continuous assessments are clearly defined for this. All right. The ones who online, you have any doubts? No? Okay,
No,
good.
No, madam.
Okay, thanks. Have a good week ahead. If you have any doubts, you can reach out to me via email, okay? Thanks. I can take the break. I will just leave the meeting.